Grumpy Bill Productions. How's everybody doing? I'm going to do a little video here. I haven't done a video in such a long time. I'm going to do a video about the HK Autogyro head. Hobby King. This is what we use on Rich Harris Designs, the Whippet, the Mantis, the Berkey 2, and a lot of other ones. It's a universal head for autogyros, and this is what we all recommend. And what we do when we first get it, this is what it looks like when it comes out of the package. Is we want to discard this piece here, but not all of it. Okay, you have to take it up. You have to figure out how to take it apart. I'm sure we're all mechanically inclined that the bolt underneath has to be loosened up and the nut has to come off, and you know. So after we get it all dismantled, we have this. Now this has to be modified a little bit too, because on the new part it's a bolt and nut, and the head is obviously up here. This is going to be just strictly a stud, so we can interchange. We can take the plates, put the plates on and off easily. So you got to get a piece of metric, and I don't know what size that is. I go down to the hardware and I match it up. And I get a piece of either a piece of threaded material or a long bolt and hack the head off of it. But I want it threaded all the way up through. Thread it down in. Now inside of here, you won't see it, but inside of here there's a nut, and it's captured by this rectangular plate. Okay, you thread it down in, and then you put a jam nut on the top so this does not come out. This is going to be stationary. Okay, and you also want to save the nylock nut. This is what's going to hold your stuff, your plate on afterwards, and the nylock is just simply the best thing to use instead of a lock washer and flat washers. Save that. Okay. Then we'll put this aside. Put it up here. After we take this off, we have to dismantle this piece and save the centerpiece here. Okay? Now the centerpiece here is in two halves. It's a bearing half. It's a bearing holder, I should say. It has an upper and lower bearing molded in. It comes together with 3 little screws and 3 little nuts. And you see how the size they are to my fat fingers. So I suggest you work with your belly up to the table here, because they're going to go flying and you're never going to find them on the concrete floor. Trust me, been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Okay, so after we take this apart and save all the bolts and nuts, we'll put this aside like this. And the next thing we want to do is you're going to cut your triangle piece. Most of Rich's plans, I'm sure all of Rich's plans, has the thickness that you want to buy the G10 plate. And there are a lot of different places where you can get the G10 here in the States. McMaster Car is a good place to get it, and it's relatively cheap. Now, after you cut your plate, shape it, you want to mark and drill your 3 holes to put your screws back in, and the center hole. And I suggest you make the center hole larger, a bit larger than the bearing hole, because once you get it all together and you put your bolt through, it'll go through here like this, and sometimes it drags. It's not quite all centered up. So just a note, don't make this exactly this size here. Okay, after you get your holes drilled, you want to mount it. And obviously one side is this way and the other side is this way. You put your little screws through and you try and you'll get it. You'll figure it out. Tweezers maybe. Magnet. Everybody's got their own way. And you mount this to your plate. On most of, and I do believe all of Rich's plans now, he also adds a shim on the back side of each blade. A counter shim. Okay, this one already has the shim already on it, already glued on. This is, let's see, the Whippet recommends a 0.4 millimeter negative shim. I'm looking right at the plan as I read that. Okay, and this has already got one on it. This is 1/32 US fractional thickness plate from McMaster-Carr. Okay, now after you get this and this all mounted up, put them aside, it's going to look like this. And here's one. This one is for another model that I've built. It doesn't have the shims in it. It doesn't have the holes on it. It's just ready to go. And this is what it's going to look like. Now, you mount this on the mast. Okay. This way. This way. It all works fine. And after you get it all on, you put this on the stud. Bing, bada bing, bada boom. Put your nylock on. Tighten it down to where there's just a little bit of interference, and then back it off, and you're good to go. Okay? You're ready for a maiden. And basically, that's it. But you do, there is a lot of modification to go from this to this. Okay? Another point that you may want is when you mount your blades, either cut these off if you so desire, or mount your blades to this side, because there is a slight chance that they're going to touch these nuts here, or bolts that are sticking up, and it's very close. I don't know if you can see that spinning or not, but they're very close. They're very close to each other. I don't know whether it's hard to tell. So what I do is I turn it over like this. Make sure this plate is like this. No chance of these catching these down here. And then mount your blades to the top. This will be the top. And this is also where you're going to mount your shims, or you're going to put your counter shim on the blade itself. It's up to you. I would imagine. I don't think there's a right and a wrong way in that area. Okay, Grumpy Bill out. Hope it was informative. Rich, if there's anything you want to add, please do. And hey, remember, it's Grumpy Bill Productions. Haven't done one in a long time.